The theater chicks are gay?
Yeah, they all gay, man. It's just
They all
gay.
Okay.
Like no matter where
I was
you look.
aware that like women's softball teams, women's soccer teams, there's a lot of women's basketball, there's a lot of lesbians. I did not know that the theater
Everywhere you look, everywhere you are, they all gay.
Okay.
Everywhere you look. You know what? So let me go to my next character because we was talking about the difference between manga.
Well, hold on. Yeah, I was gonna say you were gonna say something about Japanese manga. I have something to piggyback on that too. But can I give you my American comic and then we'll transition? Okay, so my character in American comics is Daredevil. I love the Marvel character Daredevil. I don't know what it is. Ever since I've been young, I have a fascination with Japan. I love the Ninja Turtles, and there's a certain internet theory out there that the creators of Daredevil, the creators of Ninja Turtles were fans of Daredevil because you know Matt Murdock's origin story where a truck is driving across the street in this radioactive goop and then he gets splashed in the eyes. Well, what happens to the turtles is that there's some radioactive ooze that goes down into the sewers and transforms them into these like
I never thought about that.
And where are they? They're both located in New York City. And then
I think every comic book in the early 90s was located in New York.
Fair enough. But what did the turtles, what did they train in? Ninjutsu, right? And Daredevil trains in ninjutsu. His teacher is Stick. For some reason, Daredevil starts fighting against the Hand. And what are the name of the bad guys in Ninja Turtles? The Foot.
So I think I heard this philosophy before.
Yeah, there's this theory that the Ninja Turtles are a little bit of like a spoof off this, like in the same universe as Daredevil.
That's cool.
Anyway, so what I thought was cool about Daredevil is once he was basically like a swashbuckling Spider-Man analog in the 60s and 70s, and the character was dying and nobody was reading. It wasn't that good of a story.
Yeah.
Then Frank Miller got a hold of it in the 1980s and he made him into a hard-boiled noir crime. Like you had these fantastic stories about Mr. Fantastic and going into outer space with these cosmic radiation, and Thor is a god and he can fly and spins his hammer around, can break reality or whatever, but Daredevil can he can do backflips and he can like swing on a rope and he can box. And it's a very grounded story. And his supervillains aren't these like big fantastic like Galactus is going to eat the world. Like he has to fight against the Kingpin, who's just basically like a rich gangster who's 7 feet tall. Like it's way more grounded. And I thought it was neat that Frank Miller played with Daredevil is the only explicitly Christian character in comics as far as I'm concerned. He's a Catholic.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, so he has a lot of Catholic guilt, and his mother ended up becoming a nun and gave him up for adoption. So that's what, or not, she left the relationship with her husband to go be a nun, and he was raised by a single dad in Hell's Kitchen, and his dad is a New York boxer. So there's like a lot of cool stuff to play with. And so what I wanted to tell you about was, as you probably know, American comics is dying. Nobody's buying American comics.
They would never remake a story like that.
Well, what I'm saying is they don't care about money right now. They care about virtue signaling.
Yep.
But eventually the revenue stream is going to run out because they've milked the movies dry. Nobody is interested that I know. No one that I know is interested in watching Marvel movies anymore. No one wants to go to the theater to watch.
Me and my wife just went to the movies just the other day. And we went and saw Thunderbolts or whatever. It was so lame.
Really?
It was terrible to me. Yeah, it was like a big therapy session for some drug addict who was the main villain. And he's fluttering around talking about how his life was so hard. And the way they brought him out of it, is they go into his brain in his dark rooms. And they go and they give him a hug. And the only thing they're fighting after is his environment is crumbling around him because how hard his trauma was. I was like, if you don't get this homosexual storyline out of here, dude, I don't want to hear this goofy stuff.
Well, that kind of speaks to the theory that the liberals believe that everyone is redeemable if you were to just give them a hug.
Unless you're a Republican. Unless you're
yeah, of course.
Or conservative or Christian.
Yeah. Then you're
believe in men and
redeemable.
women.
Yeah. But like the criminal, he's only that way because he wasn't loved enough or he wasn't encouraged.
He didn't get enough funding.
Yeah, we didn't have enough posters in their public school that says you can do it. Yeah, that's why people go to be supervillains.
Yes, he didn't do nothing. It was nobody. It was not his fault.
Right. So let me just encapsulate this real quick. So my theory is that eventually the gravy train is going to run out for
Yep.
for American comics because the movies aren't making any money anymore, and eventually they're going to have to start selling comics again. And how are they going to do it when they've driven off all their fans? Well, the way that they've traditionally done it, or in the last however many years, they keep resetting issue numbers to go back to, hey, we're doing a new #1, we're doing a new run on the Green Lantern. You buy the #1 issue, and so it's like, well, at least the collectors will buy it, and we'll get a little bump in sales. And so that's not sustainable, I don't think.
No,
and also, it's not good storytelling to just keep resetting everything. Hey, we got a new writer, we got a new artist.
Eventually, that's not going to work either. People, they realize it's a scam, and they're going to stop buying it. They're going to go to something new. And I hope that people like me who are artists, when we do produce something new, people will not be so tired of comics in general,
right?
That they'll be able to look and say, "Man, we'll give something new a chance."
Don't throw the baby out with the bathwater. It's not the medium that's broken. It's these liberals who have hijacked the medium.
Exactly.
Right. Yeah.
And they don't belong there in the first place. Most of them didn't create the stuff they're destroying.
They don't even like comics.
That's what I'm saying. Most of them did not create the stuff that they are currently destroying.
Right.
They suck. No one wants them around. These people are terrible to talk to. They couldn't even hold a conversation with somebody they disagree with.
Right.
They're terrible people in general. Nobody wants them.
And they're boring. They're so boring. I
already know where their stories are going.
Do you hate on like social media when people call you homophobic? I'm not homophobic. I am homo bored. I don't give a rip. Like, look, dude, that's between you and God. You're gonna get judged for that. It's obviously a sin. Read the Bible. But like, I don't really care. You're so boring. Oh, I love my boyfriend. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't care. Like,
I don't care.
Why
Keep
is that
it away from me?
Why? That's not like you didn't.
This is all I want to tell you. You stay over there.
I'm a liberal and I'm really gay.
Get out of my house!
I don't want you over here. Do what you do behind closed doors. I don't want to see it. They did a study on men that shows that a man seeing another two men kissing is the same as seeing maggots to him.
Oh, really?
Like, yeah. It's so repulsive. You can't change that inside of me. You're not going to make me like maggots. You're not going to make me like two men kissing. Stop telling me about it. I don't want to hear it. Yeah. That's all I want to say to these people.
Yeah, okay. I totally believe that sounds plausible to me. I don't like seeing that. But like if some youngster was telling me about how much he was into his girlfriend and how he likes to kiss her and stuff, I'd be like, I don't want to hear about that. Like that's private, dude. Yeah. Why do you need to like tout your affection, like your public display of affection? It's just
they know it's wrong and they got to convince you.